The ghost ship drifts in a mist quiet and barnacle. Past the pier or hear the anchor, long lifted, sick at the heart, yet knows no breath. Yet nevertheless they move, as they've always known how to move. My family is full of hoarders. They acquire pain they don't know how to let go of. Their boxes are my family heirlooms, passed down from addict to child. The men in my family have an unusual capability for suffering. They were born with boats that capsize in the slightest change in tide, so I was taught to seek shelter in my own body. Unadulting waves are only capable of saturating the skin, so the only thing I will drown in is undiagnosed depression. I do not ask God to turn my skin into light, because I'm afraid I've already become a ghost. Gen Z is known as Generation Anxiety. As the younger generation has done a great job at erasing mental health stigma, we still have work to do in the older generation, because mental health is hereditary. Psych Central, October 8th, 2019 furthers, bipolar has a 90% chance of passing on to the next generation. Depression and anxiety, 60 to 70%. And personality disorders up to 70%. We need to frame mental illness, stigma erasal, like any other pre-existing condition. And that starts with the family. So, in the poetry, Infected Lineage and Boxes by Asia Rain, When Grief Becomes a Prayer by Austin Hegelman, and The Ghost Ship by Adrian Mitchell. The Single Voice Program. Because generations don't deserve to suffer in silence anymore. I was born in a shark cage underwater, surrounded by blood and teeth and salt water and suffering. God, just take it from me. Take it all away. It's the only thing I can taste. The burnt metal against my teeth of every suicide attempt strips from the corners of my mouth. Depression. Fall over like confession, like promise, like it wants to be memorialized or something by speaking it into existence easier than teeth. In blood, an open mouth trauma easier than healing, or even wanting to get better. How many times do I have to pray to the God of I just want to go home, while he buries my family in disease that takes the help me from our throats? I cry hot tears into his shirt and he doesn't say a single word. Sometimes it's easier to pass down the shame and guilt if you can pin it to a stranger instead of your family history, right? But I hope my parents never do the spring cleaning they talk about. It's just so many of the boxes are mine. I open the one labeled Mom. Watch her care for her dying mother. Watch her spill out when she gets the call. My mother never cries, but when she does, it gets shoved into her box. I'm sick of watching her carry the weight of the family as she loses her posture. My father has boxes that take up a whole storage unit. And I look inside. Watch him bury his father. Watch him put him there right next to his sister. My father's father never said he loved him until his deathbed. I feel like my father is an oil spill drowning. I feel like my father is taking us with him. I want to let go of the dead weight, but I was taught with anxiety as my greatest inheritance. Because sometimes it's easier to land in the belly of a whale, coughing up seaweed and salt water and the suffering. But at least I'm all right today. At least my mother was built with hands shaped like buckets. At least my sister is an entire lifeboat. At least the women in my family learned how to swim. My grandmother was built with boxes tied to her chest. Never opened. Always sealed shut. We always knew something happened to her. But she said nothing happened to her, so I'm letting every ghost kiss my knuckles goodbye. Because my blood is the sick Christmas gift that nobody ever wanted. Mental illness falls from broken branches of my family tree. And I wonder how far I'll fall from the branches. Just when will the vine no longer sustain me? When the ship echoes shipwreck instead of a lighthouse. My great-grandmother does not ask God for forgiveness for my existence. Lets 4 generations of suffering soak into a mattress and she lights it on fire. Says, you need not be cold, child, for the Lord has taught me this is the way home. And the whole room becomes her casket. And I feel like I'm drowning inside with it. My whole family a widening river and I'm moving towards a waterfall. If I jump out now, I could survive. If I jump out now, I could survive. But I don't know if I want to. I never learned how to swim. Or how to come up for air. But I'm swollen. I am dripping from all the corners of the mouth. Dear God of broken necks and antidepressants for breakfast. Dear God of broken people yet still beating hearts, I just cannot bring myself to shout. The ghost ship drifts in a mist, quiet and barnacled, past the pier or here, the anchor long lifted. How death is so directionless, yet we touch your bitten plagues.